Hello, I am the Distressed Watcher. I review the previews and let you know which trailers are failures. That's right, folks. I watch the coming attractions and tell you which are nothing more than mindless distractions. And when I'm not rhyming, I'm snapping. But I can't snap, which is kind of embarrassing. I don't know why I'm even trying to snap. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Ha! Tough crowd.
Trailer failure.
Our first trailer is for the film Legion, a story about angels. You know, angels are everywhere in the American zeitgeist. Greeting cards, TV shows, tacky porcelain figurines. So it's only natural that Hollywood would try to capitalize on these majestic figures of modern mythology.
All right, Rambo, you mind telling us what we're fighting?
Angels.
Oh. It seems that that's not what they're trying to do. In fact, it seems like this movie is actively trying to piss Americans off. I can get behind that. Let's see the trailer. Ooh, an oversized, sped-up rising sun! Yay! Never seen that before. What's that for? To establish that this is taking place on the planet Earth? Hey, look, there's the sun, bigger than you've ever seen it in your entire life, rising really fast. Now, granted, maybe I'm being a little bit nitpicky with the whole sun thing, but come on, I've seen this clip 1,000 times in 1,000 other movies.
When I was a little girl, my mother spoke of a prophecy.
A prophecy? Don't you mean The Prophecy, made in 1995 starring Christopher Walken, which shared many of the same elements as this movie, such as taking place largely in the desert and casting the Judeo-Christian idea of angels as the villains?
Of a time when all the world would be covered in darkness and the fate of mankind would be decided.
Oh, like in The Matrix.
How far along are you?
Just about there.
But a baby is gonna burn.
Oh, what? I'd like you to apologize.
You're all gonna die!
I hate when I'm in the movie theater and this trailer comes on and I'm the only one who laughs at that scene. How do you not laugh at Spider Granny?
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can, spins a web.
The last time God lost faith in man.
Wait a minute, doesn't God already know the future? How can we fail to live up to his expectations when he should know exactly what to expect? Also, if he knows the future, wouldn't he know that he was going to lose his faith in us in the first place? Also, being all-powerful, shouldn't he be able to just make some small tweaks and adjustments here and there within our DNA to make us more to his liking? I mean, I understand that we're supposed to have free will and all that, and we can make our own choices, and we make our own destiny, and blah, blah, blah. We've all seen The Matrix, we all understand about destiny and choice and all that. But at the same time, we have certain genetic predilections that lead us to do certain things. I mean, no guy goes out and cheats on his wife if he doesn't have a sex drive impelling him to do so. So all God would have to do is tweak the nature of the sex drive and voila, there's no more infidelity. That's just one example out of many.
He sent a flood.
Oh right, the flood with the ark and the animals. I like that story. But wait, didn't he promise to never do that again?
This time, he sent angels.
Oh, but hold on. You mean to tell me when God promised to never flood the earth again, he literally was only promising to never flood the earth again? Any other means of destruction is still on the table? He could still burn us or send aliens to harvest our brains or send his angels to stomp our guts out? That's still fine? That's an awful sneaky, lawyer-like technicality for an all-benevolent being to work into his promise, don't you think?
Now what? You don't look like any policeman I ever saw, even one from L.A.
And the award for least believable affectation of a country accent goes to... Dennis Quaid!
Are you here to protect us?
Not you. Her.
Why me?
Because your child is the only hope humanity has of surviving.
Wait a minute. This movie is not a ripoff of The Prophecy. This movie is a ripoff of The Terminator. Think about it. A waitress whose unborn child is the only hope for mankind's future. One man is her protector against a seemingly insurmountable enemy. All they did was scratch out Skynet and type in God. Even the music is similar.
I knew I'd send you, Gabriel.
I knew he'd send you, one of the few angels that most people actually know the name of.
I don't even believe in God.
Bobby doesn't believe in you either.
Wait, what does that mean? God is all-knowing and all-seeing. He should definitely know that Dennis Quaid exists. I mean, he was in The Day After Tomorrow, for fuck's sake. How do you not know that Dennis Quaid exists if you're God? Unless they meant believe in the sense like, I don't believe Dennis Quaid could act his way out of a paper bag. Of course, that's not really an article of faith now, is it? But if they did that, then the whole thing is just a huge equivocation fallacy. It's where you substitute one meaning of the word in the first proposition, and then another meaning of the word in the second proposition, and then draw an erroneous conclusion, which is exactly what this is doing. It's like if I say, to beat someone is to hit them violently and repeatedly, and we would all agree on that definition, and then I say, yesterday I beat someone at Monopoly, and from that you extrapolate, well, you must have hit someone violently and repeatedly yesterday because you beat them at Monopoly. You see how if you change the definition of the word from one proposition to the other proposition, then the conclusion that you draw makes no sense? Well, it's the same thing happening here with the word believe. The first time we hear the word believe, it means one thing, and the second time we hear it, it means another. And if that's not what's going on here, and they're using the same definition of believe over and over again, then I'm starting to question whether the God of this movie is actually God. Because if he doesn't believe in Dennis Quaid, who very obviously exists, then it doesn't make any sense. He's the creator of Dennis Quaid and the rest of the universe for that matter. So how could he not know about Dennis Quaid? Is Dennis Quaid the Zimzum, the area where God's knowledge can just not penetrate? He is the counterpoint to God's omniscience, and he is the sole point where God cannot see, where God cannot know. That is just stupid. And I'm a bit confused as to why God needs to send angels to kill humanity anyway. Couldn't he just say, snap his finger and make humanity disappear like that? I mean, doesn't he just have to tap his little red slippers together 3 times and say, there's nothing like genocide, there's nothing like genocide, there's nothing like genocide, and poof, humanity is gone. That's all he would have to do, because he's God. Why does he have to send a big army of angels to wipe us out? It doesn't make any sense. Couldn't he just blow up the earth? I mean, it should be easy for him. And I guess it would be a short and boring movie if we just open with God sitting around in a chair, and then he presses a button, and then the earth explodes, and then the credits roll, but I'd see it. Random quick cut explosion laden montage of violence in 3, 2, 1, go! I don't know about you guys, but my mind was just thoroughly blown all over the place into little pieces. Unfortunately, none of them are little enough to want to see this movie. January, the movie studio dumping ground for all the movies that they thought wouldn't make it the year before. You know, even though it does look fairly mindless, the cinematography is kind of impressive. And you know what? Making God the villain in a mainstream Hollywood blockbuster is unexpectedly ballsy. For those reasons alone, I'm gonna go ahead and give this trailer a solid C+, because I have to admit, my interest is piqued. Our next trailer is for a film called Transylmania. Yeah, the title alone pretty much ensures that I ain't seeing it, but let's watch the trailer anyway.
At the start of the new moon, I was absolutely positive of 3 things.
At the start of the trailer for Transylmania, I was absolutely positively certain of 3 things. 1, this woman is the worst actress ever. She's only just started talking and already I am thoroughly unconvinced of her character's authenticity.
First, Radu was a vampire.
2, it's going to be difficult to mock something that's already so inherently stupid.
Second, my one birthday wish was to feel his kiss.
And 3, it was going to be painful to sit through all of this insipid bullshit.
And third,
I'm sorry. What just occurred? Having a series of random images spliced together does not a narrative make. They have to present a logical sequence of events that the viewer's mind can discern. That is the essence of what we call cinema. Without cohesion, there is no movie, there is no narrative, there is no story. What am I watching? I don't understand. Let's watch it again and see if we can figure it out. Okay, we hear a chomp, which leads us to believe that her neck has been bitten. Then she's licking her hand. Then the guy with the bad haircut starts making the O face like he just filled his codpiece. Then he falls down the stairs. So, what can we figure out from all this? Nothing! 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 The only thing I can put together is that he bit her hand and was starting to get off on it, but she was pissed, so she smacked him down the stairs like a little wussy boy. So why is he biting her hand instead of her neck? Vampires are supposed to bite your neck. And also, why is he such a pussy? How does she knock him down the stairs so easily? I know this is a quote-unquote comedy, but if you can smack your villain down the stairs and he's all, ooh, ow, I'm hurt now, then he's not a threat. It's never a good idea to make your main villain a pussy, regardless of the genre you're working in.
I need a freak.
A midget! That's right, because you don't even have to have a joke. Just having a midget there is funny all by itself, right? Right? Wrong.
Your computer boyfriend's here.
I need a freak with long hair. A super freak.
And the girl that he met online was actually a hunchback. And not only that, but her hump is all gross and slimy looking. That's pretty funny, right?
I've got the perfect way to pick up girls. I tell them I'm a vampire slayer.
Oh yeah, that'll get him. That'll get him. That'll get him to spray mace in your eyes. I'm a vampire hunter. Yeah, they'll spread their legs when they hear that. Why don't you also tell them that you're a student at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry? I mean, sure, you're a little old to be going to wizard school, but then again, so is this guy.
College kids, the other white meat.
Wow, that's the tagline you're going with. College kids, the other white meat. Well, I guess that ensures that even if people don't see this horrible trailer, they'll know the movie's terrible just based on the tagline that you put on the poster. I love how midway through the trailer it says it's coming out this December, but then at the end it just says, arriving soon. Like it knows it's going to come out in December, but it's not quite sure when. Yeah, right, folks. This is a January or February release if I ever saw one. If this movie breaks $5 million its opening weekend, I will be in awe. I mean, in America, anything is possible, but I just don't see this trailer putting asses in seats. Overall, I give this trailer a D-. I mean, the acting is terrible, the jokes fall flat, nothing looks funny or intriguing or interesting or original, but at least the filmmakers had the good sense to give us ample shots of girls' cleavage to make up for all that, which is why I abstained from giving this a flat-out F. I mean, how does a movie like this even get made? What studio exec walked into the office drunk one morning and decided that what America really needs is an unfunny comedy about vampires? It didn't work for Eddie Murphy, and it didn't work for Leslie Nielsen, so it's certainly not going to work for a bunch of kids who look like they're rejects from the last direct-to-DVD American Pie sequel. The next trailer is for acclaimed director James Cameron's new movie Avatar. So, we have giant robots and badass spaceships, but people are still confined to wheelchairs? So what happened, James Cameron? How did we get to a present where we're almost able to rehabilitate the handicapped, and we're nowhere near having all of this super cool robot technology, to a future where we have all the super cool robot technology, but we haven't quite got around to healing the cripples yet. And look, he's still pushing the wheelchair manually. In a future where we have badass robots and stuff, couldn't we build him a pair of robot legs, if nothing else? I mean, that technology already exists in its primitive stages. I mean, are we to believe that this stuff is going to be weaponized long before it's going to be used to help people? Actually, it does kind of sound like us. Okay, move along. That needs to be explained. What is holding those land masses up? I mean, it couldn't be an air pressure or wind-based phenomenon because they're just staying there perfectly still. They're not wobbly at all. I mean, and it couldn't be a magnetic phenomenon because the equilibrium of forces required to even hold one landmass perfectly still like that would be mind-boggling to find in nature. So the idea that we'd find it multiple times holding up multiple landmasses all within the same area is just so statistically unlikely that it might as well just be called impossible. So the only option left is that this is actually some sort of gravitational anomaly. And I'm willing to accept that. But it has to be explained. And I understand you're not going to explain it in this trailer. All I'm saying is that if I see this movie and I'm just meant to accept the floating land masses and they're never explained to me in any way, shape, or form, that's going to stress me out a little bit. Did Mystique have sex with Legolas? What is that? It looks goofy. Am I supposed to take that seriously? I'm having trouble. They should have put Super Mario in the tank. It would have been just as credible, and hey, at least I would know what I'm looking at. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. I have no trouble accepting many fantasy creatures, but this one just looks a little bit stupid. You know, the reason that James Cameron made the aliens so anthropomorphic was that he thought it would be necessary to be able to empathize with them and to fully comprehend the love story angle that he was working at in the film. Essentially, he kept showing pictures of the female alien character to people he knew and saying, "Would you do her? Would you do her? Would you do her?" and adjusting her like so. Now, personally, I'd like to see a little bit more junk in her trunk, but that's neither here nor there, and I'm sure you're not interested in my personal taste when it comes to that sort of thing. But I just think it's kind of interesting that a crazy blue elf alien thing was designed with human libidos in mind. The trailer goes on to be about as epic as you could imagine, with huge gun battles, dragons, mechas, and all sorts of other cool stuff. And overall, despite the corniness of the blue elves and the weak movie science, or what seems like weak movie science based on the trailer alone, it does look pretty thrilling, especially when you watch it in 3D on the big screen. Despite some misgivings, I'm going to give the trailer for Avatar a solid B+. So, what's next? Oh dear God, no. No, 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 no. Dazzling.
Oh, relax. Who's going to beat Singing Chipmunks?
Did you ask who's gonna beat Singing Chipmunks? Hell, I'll do it! I'll beat Singing Chipmunks! I mean, you guys are only like 3 inches tall, so I just have to step on you with my big size 16 feet and crush you into chipmunk jam. I mean, you guys are walking through a high school hallway, so I'm surprised that hasn't happened already. Why are the chipmunks so small in the first place? They were never this small in the cartoons. They were always the size of normal human children. Why in this movie are they made all small? Is it because giant chipmunk children was too creepy? Well, I got news for you. Little tiny chipmunk children are pretty fucking creepy too.
I wanna know what love is.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no, 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 no. There's more of them. Oh.
I want you to show me. I wanna know
people who dress up like mascots and go to big conventions and draw pictures of characters from Sonic the Hedgehog getting it on and know what the word yiff means? I think those people are really gonna like this movie. Is anyone else kind of weirded out by the fact that the Chipmunks are always attracted to the Chipettes, which most resemble themselves? I mean, guys, go get up, look in a mirror, look at your ugly mug, and ask yourself if what you really want in life is a female equivalent of that. Yeah, me too. But surely there's normal people out there who, when told to go screw themselves, don't let out a wistful sigh and murmur under their breath, "I wish I could. I wish I could."
Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel. Christmas Day.
Ha! Squeakquel. Funny. I don't think too many people, when they saw the Chipmunks movie, were clamoring for a sequel featuring the Chipettes. But maybe I'm wrong. I give the trailer a C-. And now it's time for the Snide Recap! Legion thinks it's a godsend, but I'm marking this package Return to Sender. Transylmania wants to suck ya. Well, no, it just wants to suck. Avatar is avretarded, with inexplicable floating landmasses, blue elves, and shoddy neuroscience. Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel is just more high-pitched pandering to a lowbrow audience. That's the Snide Recap, and that's trailer failure. Join me next week where I dismantle more glossy Hollywood schlock for your amusement. Distressed Watcher, over and out.
Trailer failure.
Damn, I'm sweaty.